had that dream again. My small business needs to hire, but I don't use LinkedIn, and I hire an energy vampire. But also, they're a literal vampire. And suddenly, my team is spending all their time sharpening wooden stakes and buying bulk silver and rehearsing ancient chants, and then I wake up.
Don't let hiring nightmares ruin your dreams. LinkedIn Jobs' new AI assistant takes insights from over 1 billion professionals to create a short list of the best fits for you. Post your job for free at linkedin.com/quality. Start hiring today with LinkedIn.
Just as we hit the 1 minute mark. Here's Barzal with Schaefer. Barzal waits, twists it for Schaefer! This kid's incredible! His second of the night!
Hello and welcome to Islanders Anxiety from Lighthouse Hockey and the Fans First Sports Network. My name is Dan Saracini. Joining me on this Saturday evening via Zencaster, immediately following the Islanders' 4-3 win over the Toronto Maple Leafs in overtime, is my friend Michael Leboff. And Mike, it's very rare that we do a Saturday podcast. It's very rare that we do an emergency podcast under good circumstances. I don't think we've ever done that, mainly. But the roller coaster of emotions that we have just gone through as a fan base over the last, say, I don't know, hour or so, in the last, 20 odd minutes of that game and the end of the third period and overtime, I think warrants an emergency podcast to let all these emotions out, because I'm not even sure how to describe what the hell just happened, but I know it basically is greatness. Like we just saw was greatness. I mean, I don't know. Where do we even begin? Like, we're only going to be talking about the game against the Leafs. We're going to do a podcast tomorrow night about the rest of the week and the week coming up. But like, just this game alone is enough to like have a full episode on. Like, it was an epic game that didn't seem like it for most of its running time.
Yeah, I think you kind of just put it simply but correctly. You know, we as podcasters, who when we do this once a week, so you kind of always worry about like treading over old ground and trying to be different each episode as much as you can, that you sometimes lose the forest for the trees and describing stuff like this. And I think that's exactly right. It's like what we just saw was greatness, and there's all the, because of the internet and social media and viral clipping and all that, you almost take for granted stuff like this. And because you feel like you see it every night. Like if you just spend all day on Twitter and you're a sports fan, you'll see on a great catch in an NFL game, or a crazy basketball play, or something crazy that like Aaron Judge does in baseball or something like that. It's just going to come across your feed. And a lot of them are exceptional feats of human ability. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like what just happened. As an Islander fan, I should say, right? Like stuff like that, I'm sure has happened. But as you said, the roller coaster of emotion and how that game turned with Max Domi cross-checking Schaefer, and I'm sitting there thinking, oh, well, season's over. I mean, they were already losing at that point anyway. So, I'm looking at the schedule coming up, and I'm like, oh, great, here's the swoon. The Islanders are going to be at the bottom of the East by the time the Olympics start. It's just going to be about everyone, the vultures circling around like guys like Pajot and Lee, and I'm already I in the middle of the game I looked up where the Islanders would be during the trade deadline, and they'll be back in San Jose, which is where they were last year, and I'm like, great, this is perfect omen. I'm really mad, and Max Domi does that, and I get even madder. So to go from that, which like we've had rock bottoms that no sports fan would ever want to travel to. But that I felt like I was rock bottoming for the season at that point. And so to be grabbed from that part of your fan soul to the very, very top in a matter of 18 minutes of real lifetime or whatever it was. I mean, you're going to come out a very different person after something like that. I just wanted, I said to you, I was like, I don't know really what to say or do. I just want to go outside of my front yard and scream, yell.
I mean, I went through a gamut of emotions that I don't know if I've ever felt watching an Islanders game before. Like, they were down 2-1. I mean, let's just recap the game real quick. So, Cole McWard came up. Marshall Warren was sent back down. Anthony Duclair was still out. It was 0-0 after 1. Both teams looked sloppy, frankly. David Ridge made a nice glove save on John Tavares, who, of course, is still getting booed. By the way, if you have not listened to our Weird Islanders extra episode that we put out on Friday, where we talked to my friend John Cullen about the whole John Tavares thing and sort of unpacking the emotions there, you definitely should. I know people are sick of that topic, but we had a really good discussion. Very mature, very level-headed discussion. John's a great guy, a great Leafs fan, but he's got a great attitude about it. So definitely check it out. I know you're sick of it probably, but definitely check it out. So second period, Adam Pelech with his third goal of the season. He went a year and a half without scoring goals. Now he's got 3, kind of sneaks one through his screen from distance, makes it 1-0 Islanders. But then it becomes the Auston Matthews show. He scores on a power move to tie the game, and then he scores from the circle. And these 2 goals make him the all-time leader of the Maple Leafs in goal scoring. He passes Matt Sundin in a third of the time, or whatever, 2/3 of the time it took Sundin. This is a huge moment for the Leafs and for him, obviously, to be your team's all-time leading goal scorer and still be, 27 years old is kind of crazy. But at this point, when he scored that goal, I was so seething mad about it that I couldn't even see straight. And I was so mad because and we'll get to the Schaefer stuff in a minute, but I am so sick to fucking death of watching other teams celebrating their historic goals on UBS Arena ice that next time it happens, I'm going to run out to Elmont and I'm going to strangle somebody. Like, I can't take this anymore. We saw Tavares get his 1,000th point and the Leafs bench emptied. And of course, Bo Horvat ended up making a big joke out of it in overtime. They won that game in overtime too. We saw Alex Ovechkin just have the red carpet rolled out for him for his NHL, all-time leading goal. We saw the Matthews thing. Now, stop this. Stop letting them do this. Stop rolling out the red carpet for any Tom, Dick, and Harry asshole that has a record-setting goal that he can score. You don't need to let these guys score these goals on your home ice. Please stop doing this. I'm fucking sick to death of watching this, okay? It doesn't need to be you guys. And I don't know if Kelly Cheeseman thinks this is going to get more people into the building by letting other teams score these historic goals here, but I am sick to death of watching it. Please stop it. I'm going to catch my breath real quick. What did you think of the Matthews thing real quick? Because again, I don't want to take anything away from Auston Matthews. This is a huge moment, as was the Tavares thing, as was the Ovechkin thing, but I do not want to watch this happen against the Islanders again. That's 3 goals in the last year that I've had to watch that involved the other team's bench emptying and having to hear Brendan Burke say, well, they cleared this with the NHL before, so this is okay. I don't care if who they cleared it with. I don't want to watch it.
Yeah, you kind of wish that Scott Mayfield would just go full Michael Haley mode, right? Point at someone and just start, get taken out of the arena in handcuffs or something after that. Yeah, and I think this is why this episode is worth doing, is because we're unpacking this entire game, and there's, given the opponent, given Hockey Night in Canada, given it's Tavares night, first of the season, all that stuff, the hackles are already up.
Right.
And then to watch Matthews, who, by the way, was really good all night. I'm like, oh, yeah. You said it. You said something saying that you had predicted the goal. When his first shift, I was like, he's gonna score a couple goals here tonight, because he looked really good. And so and then he does, and he's such a punchable face, and and I heard all week about Willie Nylander showing up to the game the other night in a tank top, and there was all that discourse. So you're going into this game with that kind of baggage, because it's the opponent, the media circus that follows them, and to have them then get to go nah, 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 nah at you on your own rink, in a huge game. By the way, let's not gloss over the fact that this is probably the biggest game of the season for the Islanders,
right?
Given their form coming in, given the schedule on the other side, They got another 7-game
Yeah.
road trip like in a week, and
Yeah.
they play teams that they never beat. It's essentially every team
Right.
that joined the NHL after 1993 is on the schedule, and those are the teams that the Islanders never win
Right.
against. And
We're going to talk all about that in the
yeah,
next episode.
so like all that stuff is looming in this game, and then to have the salt in the wound of another team celebrate full benches cleared celebration on UBS Arena ice. The Islanders haven't had that yet, right? And I don't know if I've ever seen an Islander get that
Right.
bet, like I'm not around for the the hallmark moments for Bossy and the Dynasty guys. I think the closest I ever saw to it was like Rick DiPietro like forcing a huge celebration when the Islanders beat the Penguins when HBO was in the building, and like you knew Rick knew it, and it ended in some point streaks and stuff. That's probably the closest I've ever seen to the Islanders like pulling something like that. And I've now seen three rivals, by the way.
Yeah.
Like let's think about the names that we've celebrated for. We've had to sit on our hands for in our own building: Ovechkin, Matthews, and John Tavares.
Yeah.
Right. So like that's where we're at, right? This is why I was saying like the rock bottom. Yeah, the Islanders started 0-3. They looked bad in the beginning of the season, but you got so much runway left. It really looked like the wheels were coming off the Island. They don't score anymore. It had been since December 14th against the Ducks since they scored more than 2 in a game. So all of this baggage is now adding up, and you're seeing this celebration. And I'm like, this season is ending. It's dying on the table in front of us. And here's where we need to shift our mentality. Is like, I didn't think to myself, I hope Matthew Schaefer can rescue us, because I've never had somebody like that. I'd be like, man, I hope Mariusz Czerkawski could chip in a clutch goal, or Mark Parrish could tip something off a power play, or Michael Grabner could force a breakaway or something like that. And like, that's basically looking up to the heavens and just praying, right? Yeah. Whereas this, like, there's actual like evidence to root yourself in when you're like, man, maybe now's the time for Schaefer to step up, because he's one of the best players I've ever seen in my life, and maybe one of the best hockey players ever. And that's what those kind of players do. So I didn't even, that thought never crossed my mind. And then he got cross-checked too. So I'm like, yeah, we're off. It's just to have this guy rescue us from that part, that depth of your soul, in the way he did, was just, what the hell?
Yeah. So I was just, after 2 periods, I was just going off on the Islanders, calling them losers. I was texting you.
Because they were losers. They are losers.
Yeah.
There's one guy who's not a loser. Actually, there's 2 guys that aren't a loser.
I mean, it could be David Rittich is the only other guy who's not, but like, and that's because that's what it felt like. These guys, once again, I keep using the phrase red carpet. They once again rolled out the red carpet for another team to use their arena as their own personal, trophy room. And I'm sick of it. And they're only down 2-1, but I'm with you. Feels like the game is over. Feels like the season is, but I mean, we'll talk about that debacle on Thursday against Utah, So like, following that, it feels like Bo Horvat is out for another week at least, right? Sorokin was backing up tonight. Probably will start Tuesday against New Jersey, but we don't know. And Butch was like, well, if he's sitting on the bench, why can't he start? It's like, good question, Butch. I don't know. So it's Shannon Hogan is sick. Like, it was all kinds of like, it's hockey night in Canada. Like, it just felt like the world was kind of conspiring against the Islanders. So 3rd period starts, and it's all Islanders to start. They have like the first, 5 or 6 shots or whatever it is. Some of the looks were pretty good. Joseph Wall was really good. And then, like you said, probably about halfway through the period, maybe a little bit less, Max Domi basically cross-checks Schaefer right in the ribs. Now, there was almost no penalties called in this game at all. It was a 4-on-4 at one point, because I think Mayfield got into it with somebody, but like, this was a penalty. And of course it wasn't called. And not only was Schaefer hurt, but he went down the tunnel, and they showed him in the tunnel. He was grimacing. He was doing like some kind of weird calisthenics where he was like stretching back and forth. And yeah, I'm like, okay, he's done for the game. Hopefully he can be back next week. This game is over. Just let it forget it. Just be done with this thing. A couple minutes go by, and Schaefer's back on the ice, and Brendan says, oh, Schaefer's back on the ice. And I think you can see on his face, he was just like, enough with this, right?
Right, yeah.
Takes the puck, goes coast to coast, power move, very similar to the one that that Matthews had scored on earlier in the game and ties the game at 2. Like, just powers in front of Joseph Wall, stretched out, just past the skate, goes in. Brendan is going crazy. The whole place is going crazy. What a move. What can't this kid do, I think is what he said.
Bullock can't hold it through. Barzal for Drouin. Schaefer wants it. He gets it. Matthew Schaefer driving one. Comes to the net. Are you serious? This kid's incredible. Matthew Schaefer has tied.
30 seconds later.
Well, look at this move. Power move. And again, hangs on, takes a look. He's got his head up all the way. Good turn, crossovers, slides, and then just waits long enough to get it past the extended leg.
The place is going absolutely nuts. It's chanting Matthew Schaefer. Everybody's going crazy. And Nick Robertson scores from the slot to make it 3-2 Leafs.
Yep.
So,
Right.
Again, you're going from anger to euphoria. Holy crap, I can't believe what I just saw. I showed my wife this. I turned the computer on. And then as soon as I turn the computer back around again, the Leafs take the lead. I mean, like, yeah. I can't with this. Like, I just don't know what to say.
Right. So because Matthew Schaefer is one of the best players ever, lifts an entire fan base out of rock bottom, gets them back to like a place where they can smile again and dust themselves off. And what do the Islanders do is they just go, nah, and kick us right back down.
Right.
Turnover by Heineman, who redeems himself at the end of the game, but he was playing for Toronto for a while there.
Yeah.
There were a couple players playing for Toronto.
Yes.
That were rostered by the New York Islanders tonight, but yeah. So like it's just a backbreaking goal, and for the first time, I feel like I maybe it's because he was in the booth. Like I got some Butchism out of Thomas Hickey because he was like, he just can't do that, and right after it sounded like a fan on the couch, which we're all for here. Every other broadcast does it. Lean into it, Thomas. You're an Islander fan, just like Matt Barzal and just like us. I'm seething mad. Like I think
right.
It's exhausting to go from despondent, angry, questioning why you do this even in a season that's going decently well, to get out of that.
Yeah.
At a snap of a finger, and then to get pushed right back into it. That's exhausting stuff.
Yes.
And what's even crazier is I feel like I've got more energy than I ever had as an Islander fan right now because of what's to come. And but right there, like you said, we're right back in kind of hell, like Islander fan hell. And the building is, we've been saying it for so long, like we just want UBS Arena to start clearing its throat. And it finally got like a really good moment to do that on Hockey Night in Canada.
Yeah.
Schaefer does something amazing. Sorry, I'm under the weather, so a lot of coughs here and there, but so the building finally sounds great. And as Roger Luce is still announcing the goal, the Leafs are already sitting on their asses because they just scored and they just celebrated. And Paul Cartier's playing the womp womp on the organ, basically, right? Like, that's an exhausting few minutes as a sports fan to go to. And once again, you're staring into the abyss, thinking about, oh my God, the Leafs are now on a roll. They just won again. Like, this is getting annoying. The Rangers won on the Winter Classic last night. It was turning into a nightmare weekend. But once again, my thought should have been like, okay, just need Schaefer to do something again, amazing again, because that's how he's training us to think, and we're just not there yet. And lo and behold, he does it.
Yeah. Well, that was still a ways away, but at this point, I was just so mad. Like I normally don't think about Nick Robertson, the player. I'm quite a fan of his brother, Jason's Robertson of the Stars. And at that point, you said Auston Matthews had a punchable face. At that point, to me, Nick Robertson had the most punchable face in the universe. Like, he was doing, everybody does the gladiator, are you not entertained thing right now? Like, don't do that. Like, come up with something else, right? So he's doing that, and you're like, this game is over. Like, they're going to squander this. And this is when it started becoming like, how about we show some pride? Like, can we get a little bit of pride here at least? Like, can we maybe try to do something here. We should talk about that was Cole McWard and Scott Mayfield, both on the ice at the same time. Two guys from St. Louis. I'm sure they're very nice guys. I never want to see this pairing ever again. Like that was awful. Mayfield was pretty bad all night. Tony DeAngelo had a ton of shots, also had a ton of turnovers. Like the defense was not good outside of one guy, obviously. And Pellick was good too. So this looked like, it was going to go the wrong way. About 2.5 minutes to go. Heineman, Barzal, beautiful pass across the ice to Emil Heineman at the circle, ties the game at 3. Again, very reminiscent of the goal that Matthews scored back in the second period to break the Leafs goal scoring record. That assist actually tied Barzal with John Tavares for 6th on the all-time Islanders list. A little bit, less kind of important than the Leafs all-time goal scoring list, but still pretty cool. They were talking about it before. Great play. Great goal by Heineman, who had gone on forever without getting a goal. Actually, they had a graphic before I shared with you before the game about all the guys in their goal-scoring slumps. Like, it was like 19 goals for Duclair, who obviously wasn't in the lineup, but like 17, I think, for Drouin. It's nuts. It's nuts. There's so many guys without scoring any goals. Or like Anders Lee had, like, I think 2 in his last 15, and I think Heineman might have been something similar. So it was great to see Heineman score the goal. I'm sure that the fans watching Hockey Night in Canada who remember Heineman from his days with the Canadiens thought it was kind of funny. So they tie the game, and I say to my wife, there's still plenty of time here for them to blow this. And I hated saying it, but that was what I was thinking. And at this point, they managed to keep the Leafs at bay. It was a lot of Leafs towards the end of the game, but they managed to keep them, without scoring. They go to overtime. Not much going on in overtime. Very few chances both ways. A lot of backtracking and stuff like that. Every time Matthews is on the ice, I'm with you. I'm like, oh, great. Here we go. It's going to be a hat trick. It's going to be a whole big thing. We're going to have to hear about this forever. Simon Holmstrom almost tips the puck past David Rittich. Matthews is going towards the net. Holmstrom has his stick out. The puck goes off of it, and it ends up going across the goal line. Riddick kind of covers it a little bit, but he keeps the play moving. So now, about a minute left, Heineman forces a turnover, finds Barzal, comes up the ice, draws two guys near him. I mean, the goal is incredible, but the pass was equally as incredible. Turn around, backhand, behind the back pass to Schaefer, who's alone in the slot.
As Heineman got back in the final minute. Up ahead it goes. Here's Matt Barzal. In front, Schaefer for the win. Matthew Schaefer has won it for the Islanders.
The other way, a tired group, a late change, a bit of an odd man rush, and how about the spinorama by Barzal, the follow-up by Schaefer, and the fan favorite continues to grow here on the island. What a great play by Barzal, taking 2 players with him, leaving the slot wide open, and underneath the glove and over the pad for Schaefer to win this game.
I could feel my heartbeat, and my heart rate increasing as this pass was completed, and I thought, my eyes started getting wide. And when he scored that goal, I just started yelling, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. My wife's scared to death. She's sitting on the couch next to me. What's going to happen? I was like, he did it again. He did it. I can't believe he did it. This is one of the most amazing overtime goals I've seen since the last time the Islanders played the Leafs in overtime, which was the Horvat goal for last year. No, seriously, this is one of the most incredible overtime goals I've ever seen. I'm sure you feel the same way. And again, the final emotion in this roller coaster is just, it's beyond euphoria. It's like I can't even describe what I'm feeling. I mean, we're here doing a podcast on a Saturday night at like 10:30 at night. Like, can't even describe. I just want to tell everybody, I wanted to drive to UBS Arena and find Luke Fox Jukebox and the whole crew and be like, and shove that in your fucking pipe and smoke it. Like, suck on that on the way back to Toronto. Like, every Leafs fan in the building, I can't wait. And we'll get to the interviews in a minute, but like, this goal, this happens. Like, what are you feeling? I mean, I can't even put into words how I was feeling.
Yeah. Before I jump into that, the Barzal was really good on all night, I thought, and those 2 passes were just incredible. Like, another guy who steps up a lot in these moments. Like, he knows when the national TV crew is in, and usually has his legs. So just wanted to say that before. It's weird when you're watching a game, especially when you're watching a game alone, like how different time moves, how like the different pace of time throughout a game. As you're killing a 5-on-3, it feels like the seconds are hours. There's a 30 seconds left, you're up one, same kind of feeling, right? But there are times where if when you're chasing a game, it feels like the clock's moving really quick. But there's also this like weird, unquantifiable pace of time and space when a pass is just sliding across the ice to somebody in a hockey game, and like, oh, he's gonna have a brilliant scoring chance. And it's amazing what the brain can process in that short amount of time. What if you clock the time that it took from the puck to travel from Matt Barzal's stick to Matthew Schaefer's stick, you're looking at like maybe half a second. And somehow I'm sure a lot of people's brains just flash forward to like, oh my god, knowing like the weight of, if he scores this, how incredible it's going to feel after,
right?
And also being confident in it, and just thinking about like his 41 games of his Islander careers kind of flash before my eyes, and it's just bizarre where you get taken to in this really speck of sand amount of time. And then when he scores, you almost feel like I've already visited where this emotion is, because I was already processing it before the goal somehow. Right. And so it's familiar, and it's warm, and it's comfortable, and you're just like, you almost feel like you're skating around the ice with him. And I mean, yeah, you're staring, it's almost trippy, like you're staring down a great, like an all-time great talent here. Right? We all know it. It's all it's said. Like we know what we're staring at, and knowing that this is just the very, very, very beginning, and he's already doing this kind of shit.
Yeah.
That's really hard to process too, especially coming from where we've been as a fan base. Like talk about the roller coasters that we've been on. And now trying to figure out what to do with moments like this, and how they're supposed to make me feel. Like this is probably the best individual performance like I've ever seen, in terms of just like someone, he just took over this game, and then you throw in the context of he's also 18 years old.
Yeah.
Like you're like, I was like thinking about Victor Kozlov, because of that 4-goal game he scored against the Rangers, and just being like, I just saw something incredible. It was against a rival. It was just, and it was Victor Kozlov, right? When you're watching it at a guy whose like talent is actually doing it, rather than just he got hot one night with his beautiful Russian smile and yellow stick. Like it's something entirely unfamiliar.
Yeah.
And it's great. And I think that's why it's entirely unfamiliar. Is because like I've just never touched this level of greatness before as a fan.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to like live my life knowing that this guy plays for the New York Islanders, and it's real, right? Like I don't know how to live my life in that way. So
yeah.
And all this has come out of me because of a 15-minute span of time.
Yeah. That's the thing about it that just drives me crazy. Because again, like you said, and that's an astute point, like this all started with the cross-check of Schaefer by Domi.
And, I was mad. I was like, nobody's going to do anything about it.
Right.
So that's where my head was.
Right. Well, and I agree with you. And that was like 8 minutes into the third period. So it's not like it was the entire period. It was, maybe whatever, 13 minutes of like third period time, and then obviously 4 minutes of overtime. So, and obviously, we all know the way hockey works. Like that's not really on 20 minutes. Isn't really 20 minutes. There's like TV timeouts and things like that. But like even just that 2.5 minutes from when Heineman tied the game to the very end felt like an hour and a half. Like it's just like, oh my God, please just get to overtime, please, and then we'll deal with whatever happens after that. So, but yeah, I mean, Schaefer just decided to win this game, and he did it on Hockey Night in Canada. against the Leafs on this historic night.
Yep.
And I don't think anybody's going to forget this anytime soon. And
especially John Tavares, who had a great view of the overtime winner. There's a great picture of him watching it. Like,
yeah,
that's adding to it. Like we have gone this entire time without even mentioning right that elephant in the room, and we don't really even need to go into it, because what happened was like, yeah, that's gonna sting him a lot more than anything we could say, because he just watched that, was like, damn, I'm not that good. I was never that good. And these,
right. The guys who are taking the most abuse, I can tell from Leafs fans right now, are Max Domi, who was also on the ice in overtime. No, he was on the ice for Schaefer's first goal. And then Morgan Riley was actually on the ice for all 4 Islanders goals.
Yes, Morgan.
And he is apparently like the whipping boy tonight for the Leafs fans, including the overtime goal. So if you watch the goal, he is covering nobody. And Simone Benoit is like draped all over Barzal. Again, no call, no nothing. Barzal still manages to get away from him, turn his back, and make this beautiful pass. And Riley's just like covering nothing, nobody. In fact, on Heineman's goal, he is laying the wood to Anders Lee while Heineman has the puck like 15 feet away from him. He just scores. So great night for Morgan Riley. And now a word from our sponsors. VintageIceHockey.com. Over 100 classic hockey logos on t-shirts, jerseys, hats, mugs, and more. Long Island Ducks, Albany Riverettes, Danbury Trashers, Kentucky Thoroughblades, and so many more. Plus a full line of Islanders Anxiety merch, with our portion of the sales going directly to the Center for Dementia Research. These incredible items cannot be found in stores, so shop VintageIceHockey.com today. Relax, sit back, and enjoy wine from The Pinot Project. Rosé, Pinot Grigio, or a Pinot Noir that was named a Best Buy by Wine Enthusiast magazine. These wines are delicious, affordable, and available at area wine shops and at UBS Arena. Learn more at thepinotproject.com, and please drink responsibly.
Good morning, Crust. It's a great day to be a bread brother.
Ugh, mornings are not my jam. Or jelly.
Oh, come on. Stop loafing around.
I just woke up feeling hollow inside.
Psst, just grab one of the new Morning Uncrustables sandwiches, like Bright-Eyed Berry or Up and Apple, filled with 12 grams of protein and tons of deliciousness. Crust, what are you eating?
It's just granola, not even yogurt.
No crust, no fuss. Uncrust your mornings.
I feel like this is, just an all-time moment. I don't think we're going to forget it. We're obviously memorializing it in podcast form. I think though that like part of me is a little bit mad that it took an 18-year-old boy to pull this team's like entire roster up by its pants and decide we're not losing this game.
Right.
And he just decided to win the game. I don't know if it was the crosscheck that made him mad or whatever it was, but it if I want to be mad about it, I can. And it would be because like this guy who is half the age, I think, of some of the guys on this team just decided we're not losing this game. And I think there's guys on this team that are way older than him that might want to look themselves in the mirror.
And they were like, oh shit.
Right. Grab a little bit of that for themselves, because the whole time I was dying for anything, just some kind of pride. Please, you can lose the game, but like, not like this. Like, don't just let a guy set a team record, an all-time NHL record in your building without any resistance whatsoever, and then just be like, well, we didn't have it tonight. No, don't do that. Put up some kind of resistance, please.
Yeah,
and there was the kid to do it.
There was no shame in an Islander ending up in the holding cell, like at the bottom of UBS Arena tonight. Like, go show some anger. And I think this is kind of something to touch on over your court tomorrow, is like they were just trending in such a terrible direction, and but they now have this guy, and you wonder if like they're just gonna be like, like I can take a couple games off because like this guy's never gonna do it, and he was sick tonight apparently.
Yeah.
And he got cross-checked in the ribs, and I'm steaming mad. I'm like, they all know what just happened because they saw their best player get hurt, and they all just said, hey, what just happened? And someone's going to say, yeah, see the video and say, oh, Domi cross-checked him in the ribs. And be like, is somebody going to go do that? Or do we need to go get his landlord to come out, from the press box? But, and yeah, I mean, and the roller coaster of emotion continues even afterwards because, he's giving it the full Lubo Wisnowski. He's taking the lap of honor. He's G'ing up the crowd, lifting it. They were chanting Matthew Schaefer and he was clapping along, which I loved. Like, this guy is 18 years old. Right. He's acting exactly like an 18-year-old should when there's, retired electricians from Lake Success chanting his name after 13 beers.
Right.
He's doing it exactly right. And he's looking and he wants to be interviewed by Shannon Hogan or Alan Fearing, who's filling in for her. He wants to get that in-arena interview because he's probably like, I'm going to say something that these people are going to fucking love. Like, there's going to be goddamn whitey tighties thrown at me on the stage here, like, and roses and all sorts of shit. Like, this is going to be, I'm just going to bring the house down. And he's looking around and the Hockey Canada people are like, no, we get you. And he's like, no, I got to look out for Shannon, like, first, obviously. And he's doing what an Islander should, which is try to take care of his fan base. But the fat cats at Sportsnet get him. Yeah, he's got to get his Hockey Night in Canada towel for each. A towel for Matthew Schaefer, an 18-year-old. Have we ever given a towel to an 18-year-old?
Yeah, no, it was a great game. I felt a little under the weather going into the game, so I knew I had nothing to lose and just go out there and play hard and leave it all out there because we got 2 days off. So, first off, pretty happy I got my towel, and then second off, big 2 points for the boys there. But it was a full team effort. Reddy back there made some big stops, so it was, just from top to bottom of our, team, and we kept it going.
Well, it's funny, Craig Simpson in our booth always has the great line, you always score when you're sick. So how did you summon the energy here tonight?
Yeah, I put some ice packs on me, tried to get as much fluids as I could. All our training staff here is helped me out so much, and they're just, giving me anything I need, and they're always with me. So, yeah, you just got to go out there and play as hard as you can.
It was amazing. It's the first time in this building watching you play here live after both your goals tonight, especially in overtime. The crowd was screaming your name. How do you make sense of it all?
Yeah, I love this place. I've said it before, and it sounds repetitive, but I really do love this place, and it feels like home as an 18-year-old coming in, and just from our whole team, our whole staff, to all the fans and everyone here on Long Island. You go anywhere and everyone's greeting you everywhere. So it feels like home, and it's easy for my dad and brother to and my mom obviously watching. It's easy for them to be happy that where I am, because everyone just makes me feel so welcome.
Yeah, so we got robbed of that moment a little bit, and I was almost grateful we did. I was like, I could still be fucking mad at these people. Right. Even after that, I could save a little bit of my energy, this like brilliance that I'm so basking in, and I could snap off a little piece of it and save some anger for the machine up there in Toronto. And we'll get to suss through all the I haven't done a debrief on who was upset that John Tavares was getting booed, and he looked like shit, by the way. He did not have a good game. Like, I'm like, oh God, this guy's he's not even that good anymore. This is great. And he lost that first face-off that ended up on the pellet goal, which I appreciated. It was just, I don't know. I feel like there's just like a ray of light beaming down on me right now because of what I just witnessed. I don't know. I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and just be like, how do I continue forward in my life? Like, how do I just drive to this grocery store and do normal, mundane, everyday shit without, like, if I went to the grocery store right now, right this second, I just closed my computer and went, I think I'd get in a lot of trouble because I just would be talking at people in the grocery store, employees, other fellow shoppers at 10:45 on a Saturday night, just be like, do you have any idea how to handle what just happened at UBS Arena?
It's actually funny you mentioned that. So yesterday, I was at Prudential Center with some friends of mine who had an extra ticket for the New York Sirens versus Montreal Victoire PWHL game. And I had never seen the Sirens. I had wanted to see the Sirens since they came into the league. They played at UBS first, and then they played the Rock for a couple of years. I hadn't had a chance, and I was like, yes, I'll take the ticket. And I had a great time. Great crowd, great time. The Sirens won. Kaylee Osborne, their goalie, she should be a star. She's amazing. She got a bit of Rick DiPietro in her in the sense that whenever she plays the puck behind the net, your heart skips a beat a little bit. It got a little hairy in a couple of spots, but she was terrific. She made 41 saves, I think, in that game, and still wasn't one of the number one stars. I was like, I demand a recount. She was great. Anyway, I chose the opportunity. I wanted to see the Sirens play, but also I wanted a reason to wear my Matthew Schaefer jersey that I got for Christmas. And so I wore the Schaefer jersey to the game. There was a few other Islanders jerseys there. I was the only Schaefer jersey, and I was so excited that they won because I was like, I am now 1-0 in the Schaefer jersey. And so I was just hoping somebody would be, and this came after the Utah game. So I was afraid somebody was going to be like, oh man, they look like shit the other night. But I was going to be like, yeah, they did, but they got Schaefer, and he's great. So, and the jersey was still on my coffee table tonight as the Islanders won this game. So it's just, I don't know where they're going to go. We talked about this on the last episode. There's still a ton of teams in the middle of this. Yes, the Islanders kept pace. Like you said it. This was an important 2 points for the Islanders. Make no mistake. The Penguins have kept on winning. The Flyers won today. Like, the entire East is still a dogfight. Guess what? Guess who's in playoff position? The Buffalo Sabres. That's right. You left them all for dead. They are not dead. In fact, they are still in this thing. And actually the Blue Jackets won today too, so they're not dead either. The East is a complete dogpile. So we don't know what's going to happen. And the Islanders still might end up having a bad season and missing the playoffs. I don't know. But like, what we've seen from this kid through 42 games is nothing short of spectacular. And what I want is for the rest of the team and the rest of the franchise to meet him at that level. That might not be possible. But like tonight, he showed you what we need to see. The pride, the just like, we're not losing this game, taking it. He understood the moment and the gravity of what was happening, and he took that puck and he ran with it, and he did what he needed to do. And there are 21 guys on this team. Actually 20 guys. I will exclude David Rittich. I thought he was good. I thought Rittich was good. Barzal was good too. I thought Pellick again, I thought was good too. So maybe more like 17, 18 guys. But like, there's a bunch of guys on this team that need to take some of what this 18-year-old kid has and install it into their own operating systems. Like, because if you're going to ask this kid, I mean, people are already like concerned that he plays too much. Like he's averaging 26 minutes a game. That's too much. You're going to burn him out. I don't think 26 is enough. This kid,
I know. Like, I want more.
40 minutes a game, right?
I think I said it to two different people today. I was like, I don't want to see the Islanders without 13 or 48 on the ice for the rest of this game. And we're like halfway through. I'm like, right. I don't care. Just play more. Yeah.
So, I mean, as great as this game was, as much fun as I'm as glad as I am that we can talk about it right here. And I hope people are going to enjoy this on their Sunday after they listen to Leafs Talk over at Sportsnet, I guess. There is some concern there that like he is so far head and shoulders above most of the rest of the roster that, this season might still be a bit of a lost cause. But that being said, I mean, what he's doing and the way he does it. Oh, by the way, I saw a bunch of Leafs fans complaining, oh, we get it. He's 18. Oh my God, enough with the 18. All right, we get it. He's 18. Dude, according to our friend John Muir, who had to watch this game on the Sportsnet feed, it was 24 hours of John Tavares and his records and all the great things that he did for the Leafs and Islanders. It's like, yeah, that's not relevant here. Like, this kid is relevant. So works both ways. But yeah, I don't know. Again, it's just, we keep hammering home the same point, but man, to go from all of these different, I mean, listen, roller coasters of emotion are nothing new to us, right? I mean, every episode can almost be titled a roller coaster of emotions, but man, this is as concentrated and as intense as it's ever been.
Exactly. Yes. Concentrated, as intense as it's ever been. You were just slingshotting from top to bottom. It was bizarre. And yeah, I think that's a good point to kind of just wrap up on, is that the team there needs to be a normal players only meeting where, like, if only the normal guys are coming, you can't come in here because you're obviously something completely abnormal and special. And they just need to be like, look, even if we wanted to forget a few details or not go 100% or take a night off, there's a problem with that plan, which is, for no matter what, That guy's never going to do that. It's like an 8 men out. Like the one guy who's just like, no, I'm not throwing the game. Like he's just going to be like, and I'm obviously not saying like the Islanders are just like kicking their feet up, but they have no chance. They have no choice but to like try to strive for, as you know, their personal ceiling, because this guy is going to do it every game. He's going to be like, man, I did this as an 18-year-old. I just skated around, you know, on Hockey Night in Canada and, you know, stopped an entire nation in its tracks as an 18-year-old. So now I got to do better than that, which means that if you're JG Pageau or you're Mark Gatcomb or you're Cole McWard, you got to be like, if he's going to that level, I got to go to, you know, whatever is a little bit better than Cole McWard. Mark Eaton. I got to get to Mark Eaton status, right? And so like they just don't have a choice. And I mean, it's got to be as hard as it is for us to process and to be like, I'm literally looking for help from people to be like, hey, tell me how to deal with this. Imagine being an Islander who's been here, who's part of the furniture, and Anders Lee, you know, whoever, Adam Pelech or Ryan Pulock, and be like, where are we going? Like as a team, like where this guy's changed everybody's life. He's certainly changed Ryan Pulock's life. Like Ryan Pulock looks 8 years younger since Matt Schaefer started playing with him. So I mean, I don't know. Like I don't think any of us really understand how to do it, how to come to grips with what's going on, except for him. Because I feel like Matt Schaefer is like going into, you know, whatever coffee shop he's gonna go tomorrow before practice and get his iced coffee and his whatever scone, and he's gonna see people and they're gonna be like, hey, you know, that was amazing last night. He's like, yeah, I know, like it was. Like, did you enjoy the game? I enjoyed it. I'm still watching it. Like he's basically just us, you know, one of us. Being like, I wouldn't be shocked if he went into the coffee shop and saw someone with an Islanders hat. Was like, hey, you catch the game last night? That was pretty cool, right? Like what that Schaefer guy did, because he's clearly enjoying this ride, and is like, it's almost like watching somebody else have an out of body experience. It sounds negative to say something's like this, like crushing emotional weight, but it feels that way. It feels very heavy. What's going on, and in a good way, because I'm just like, how do I come to grips with something that is this heavy and good, rather than the team might move, you know?
Right. Or this guy's gonna leave as a free agent.
This guy's your owner is in jail.
Yeah, that was a weird one. So a couple of things real quick. Apparently, eventually, MSG did get some, you know, interviews with Schaefer, and he said that he loves this place, apparently, which is really, really cool. That was on the Reddit, so I'll watch that later. And I don't know if I mentioned it, but the assist on the overtime goal helped Barzal pass Tavares for 6th on the all-time team, you know, Islanders assist list, which is really huge too. And you know, obviously Schaefer is the first rookie to have, I guess, the first 18-year-old to have 11 goals in a season. He's the first one to have multiple goal games in the same season. I'm sure he was the first one to score an overtime goal, so he's definitely the first one to have 2 overtime goals. And as I was telling my wife, like every time this guy touches the puck, it's a new record, which is really incredible. Like that, just so it's all there in black and white. Like it'll all be, you know, saved for posterity. And you know, he couldn't have picked a better time to do this. And I did predict before the game started, once I saw that Matthews only needed 2 goals to, you know, pass Sundin, I was like, well, he's definitely going to do it against these guys. Hopefully Schaefer shows out. And I was right on both ends. So there you go. I'm happy, I guess so. But
you get a Hockey Night in Canada towel too.
He did get a Hockey Night in Canada towel, so we could all rest easy. So the Frege and David Amber and all these other guys can rest easy that they got. I'm sure he's going to be talked about on 32 Thoughts on Sunday night. So, you know, I saw a lot of Leafs fans mad. That's always great. One guy was like, "Oh, I can't believe they're playing the Leafs' old goal song after the win." Well, what a zinger, dickhead! We've been playing that song for years. You douche. Maybe if you watched another team, you would know, but they don't. They don't care. So, this was a very cathartic night, as one of our Anne, who's one of our patrons, said. 100% extremely cathartic win. And just incredible. I mean, I just can't even put it into words. I mean, the fact that we're here talking about it just shows you how emotional it was. And yeah, I just, I get, we'll talk about this on tomorrow night's episode. I get that there are bigger questions. I mean, we were talking today. I mean, obviously it was when the Islanders were losing, but like, what are they going to do with the trade deadline? Like, we don't know. It all depends on what happens from here. But like, this is Matthew Schaefer's team. Like, it might be there's a lot of older guys here who have been here a long time. Anders Lee, Barzal, Pelech, Pulock, all those guys, Sorokin even. This is Matthew Schaefer's team. Like, they are going where he takes them. And tonight was the prime example of him just literally grabbing the team by the collar and being like, no, we're doing this. And if you didn't think that I could love this kid more, I don't know. Apparently I just found a new gear. Yeah, because it was amazing to see. It was at just the perfect time because I was so mad. I was seething with anger in between the second and third periods. My wife was like, how's it going? I'm like, well, it's 2-1 Leafs. And I just went off on Matthews and the whole, like, the record and all that, how these guys are like losers and they just keep doing this. And I'm just tired of watching them do this. And then, 45 minutes later, I'm like, I feel like I'm on drugs or something. I don't really know how to describe it.
I don't think we're not going to get that answer, right? Where this whole episode, it's like a 46-minute capsule just dedicated to this game that will be on the podcast feed forever, just like other, like the other big moments that have warranted stuff like this. And I could tell you if we kept going for another 45 minutes or another 8 hours, it would just be us going, yeah, I just don't really know what to think. I don't know how to act. I don't know what this feeling is like. And it's just sports too, right? Like it's just sports.
Doesn't matter.
It does not matter. It's just something you do on the side, and you go to work, and then you just put on your other face, but then when you put on your Islander face, like, you're gonna always have this moment. And I don't know. I've run out of things to even think about with it, because it's just playing in my head. Like, I'm getting distracted by thinking about it. The cross check and another thing too is the broadcast kept saying, yeah, Schaefer's been pretty quiet tonight. Did you notice that in like the first 35, 40 minutes? And I was like, yeah, he kind of has, like, and I'm
a couple
sad.
of good rushes.
Yeah, but they were just like, wait, because he didn't do this, I guess. But and I was like, yeah, that's too bad, because I wanted him to do something and shut up the machine. And and then so he went from a quiet night to like the loudest night an Islander has had in maybe my entire lifetime. Like, I'm Dublowitz, Kozlov, like there was some other guy who played for the Maple Leafs who used to be their captain, but they stripped it from him. He had a couple of them. I don't know if anything was like this. And how
many times have the Islanders even been on?
I don't know.
Hockey Night in Canada.
I don't know. But you remember when the Islanders a couple of years ago, like, had a what would you call it? A town hall where, like, they had like a bunch of the players sitting on the stage, and like there's fans asking questions. I almost feel like they just need to set one of those up with the entire fan base in the arena, and we could just sort through what just happened. The players, the coaches, everybody except for Schaefer, just be like, yeah, like, I don't know, like, how do you keep coaching? Like, how do you go to work tomorrow as a coach and be like, do we need to even do this? Because if we just don't do our jobs, like, this guy might just rescue us. Like, if we just show up tomorrow and say, hey, do whatever the hell you want,
right? That
means number 48 is going to do whatever the hell he wants. Yeah. I don't know. It's crazy.
To be honest, I'm not 100% sure that that's not what the coaches are doing. So, because sometimes that's all it feels like they're doing. It's just like, yeah, whatever, it's fine. I mean, for God's sakes, every time I turn around, Tony DeAngelo was on the ice tonight. Like, it's just enough.
Yeah, he played the entire game.
God,
he got hurt at one point.
Yeah, he got hurt, and then he came back, and like, all right, fine. I think Gatcomb was back, which was good.
Yeah, Gatcomb was flying all over the place.
Right. But like at one point, and you mentioned it before, like a normal player. At one point towards the end, he got the puck from the Islanders zone. He crossed the red line. He dumped it in, and he went out for a change. And I was like, "Thank you, Mark Gatcomb, for doing the normal thing here and not trying to do something stupid."
Yeah, the Russians were playing together. They were doing all sorts of crazy shit. None of it was really working. But like they were like basically juggling the puck around. Scott Mayfield didn't use his stick once; he was only kicking it. So, it's like if we would have a lot of like nitpicking to do,
right?
If this didn't happen, and we were just tomorrow night we're just like we got to talk about the Leaf game now, and
and I don't think the Leafs played all that much better, to be honest with you.
It was really Matthews versus Schaefer and Barzal. Like it was, and but man, we haven't said it, but like he saved us from the Leafs continuing like this little mini winning streak, and the discourse tomorrow, like we don't have to deal with this one meant a lot. I don't know if you saw that Auston Matthews had John Tavares lead the stretches this morning. What I'm glad, and you could, Poppy's developing into a true leader before our eyes with moves like that.
Right.
So he also saved us from that, which is a very specific problem to you, me, and the people who listen to this podcast, regularly. But he also it also saved us from that, because now Luke Fox Jukebox would look like an absolute fool if he didn't write anything else about but what Schaefer, and I guess he can talk about Matthews in the record, but so we owe him a lot for whatever the hell just happened.
I mean, they're still going to talk about that stuff, but I mean, the Leafs Talk episode is up, and the title is "I'll Spoil Matthews' Milestone Night in Overtime."
Perfect.
So I'm sure that they're going to really talk about Matthew. So they do talk about Matthew Schaefer's budding superstardom. So there's that. But I'm sure that it will be very complimentary and very respectful. If you want to hear some respectful talk between Islanders fans and Leafs, we have provided that for you. Again, it came out on Friday. It was a Weird Islanders extra episode. The full episode we did with John will come out towards the end of February for good reason. You'll find out then. It's not necessarily Olympics related, but he will be doing some curling coverage for CBC, so we're going to put it out then. But it's a great episode, and I promise you, it's not a player that you're thinking of. It is a guy we want to do for a while, and John was the perfect guest for it. He's a great dude. So listen to all of his other podcasts, which I noted in the episode there. So definitely take a listen to that. And like I said, we will be back regular time Sunday night for a Monday episode covering the other two games last week, plus the games coming up and the long-ass road trip. The long-ass road trip, the sequel, starting in two of the all-time worst places the Islanders could ever start a road trip. And we will go through all that, and I'm sure we'll go to sleep and think of a few more things to say about this Leafs game. So thank you for listening. We really appreciate it. Again, very rare, good emergency episode for us. And we really appreciate you listening. Hope we made your Sunday a little bit more fun. Any final thoughts before we wrap this episode up?
No, it made my Saturday more fun. I can't really think of a place I'd rather be right now, but than talking about Matthew Schaefer. So I'm grateful that you were into doing this, because I feel like if we had waited 24 hours, you can't get to the places that your emotions are at naturally. Like you can work your way back there, but it takes some time, and so that's why I was happy. And this is an episode, like I don't particularly like listening to our episodes back because like everyone else, like I just if it's awkward to listen to yourself. But this is one that I will love to look back on. So I'm just grateful that to have it for that, to be like 10 years from now when he's won 6 Stanley Cups for the Islanders, be like, let me go back to when it really hit us in the face, So I hope that that's what this serves as for a lot of people, and we get to those places so that it is something like that, because it's still very, very fresh on our mind, as you can tell. I still might go out just onto my front yard and start screaming.
Well, you got to walk Elvis, right? So
he's passed out next to me, and
there you go.
He's got no idea that his buddy's life just changed a couple days ago.
I don't know what I might have to stay up and watch AEW Dynamite Collision tonight, because I have no desire to go to sleep whatsoever. So I think 2 hours of professional wrestling ought to calm me down after the game.
Start going outside banging pots and pans.
Yeah, like it's New Year's Eve. Yeah, right. Yeah. We hope you all enjoyed it. Again, if we get more reasons to do more emergency podcasts like this, we will. But we hope this has been a fun one. I'll keep it quick. Patreon.com/Islanders Anxiety. Morning Haze, Family Dinner, listen to more of their music on Spotify. Lighthouse Hockey every single day. Fans First Sports Network. VintageIceHockey.com. Pinot Project. Keep the Islanders weird. Sure, why not? And we will talk to you again on Monday for our regular episode. Okay? Talk to you later. Take care. Bye-bye.